Ian, on the City podcast, our bread and butter, besides talking about insurrections, is talking about collectibles, especially when it comes to video games in the marketing, the marketplace. Whether it was heritage auctions, scumbag sellers of the week, people trying to put things on eBay and failing, what have you. So right now, and I literally got, this is how Ian, you think Ian and me are scumbags or slime balls, that's fine. We had the potential to do a sponsorship with the company we are talking about, and we are submarining it and potentially burning a bridge.
Yeah.
We could have money in our pocket to keep the lights on. The heat's not happening right now at Castle Country. But there's a new collectible sharing app and website that has dropped. Called Otis. Otis. On the Otis website, Ian, it's a collectibles site where you can invest in shares of collectibles like sneakers, Pokemon cards, sports cards.
Or say right here, this 9.6 Super Mario Brothers 3, what a graded.
Yes. It's a new frontier of collectibles and commodity markets, which has really sprung up past probably 2, 3, 4, 5 years, especially with what they call sneakerheads. These people that invest in sneakers, and there's marketplaces that exist just for this. But this is like, okay, I can't buy the whole shoe myself or the X-Men #1 on here right now. I'll buy a share and own a share, so then when it sells at a profit, I get a profit out of it. And that's what this website wants you to sign up and do, and the app to do that. So right now you can invest in Super Mario Brothers 3. Oh, it's not the Left Bros? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, it doesn't matter when people are spending tens of thousands on these because they're insane. So you have to get 10 shares maximum. 10 share maximum per investor. It's $1 per share. So Super Mario Bros. 3 is considered this is from the listing. It's considered the first legitimate sequel. What? Fuck you. The first legitimate sequel to the original Super Mario. Did Nintendo put out Super Mario Bros. 2? Then it's a legitimate sequel.
God, people just can't let that fucking go. They've got to find something else to say about it.
It is the third best-selling NES video game of all time. At 17 million copies sold worldwide. The Super Mario series has been created in subsequent popular video game. Okay. Grading is important for NES games since there were a large amount of copies released. We are offering a 9.6 Wata graded copy with an A grade seal, which is the second highest grade after a 9.8. There were several production runs of the game, including earlier production with the Bros to the left and a later one with Bros to the right. Then it talks about highlights of recent sales. Super Mario 3 went for $21,600 in September, blah, blah, blah. The sale was for an A+ seal. Ours is an A seal, close but not exact. Talked about how much they paid for it. So you basically get a prospectus on your quote-unquote investment. So it tells you, okay, we bought this game for $10,200 at auction, and it is dropping it at $5,000, representing a 104% discount to market value. What? Otis acquired the game at auction for $10,200 and is dropping it at $5,000. I guess dropping it this is the investment we want you to basically pay back in for.
I guess so, yeah.
I guess that's what it means. And then there's cultural significance. Okay. Then there's a report. There's actually a prospectus, like you're getting a freaking mutual fund. And there's a little slideshow at the bottom, if you see that, put out by this company. So in the slideshow, you have like a quote from our pal Richard Lecce. See how it all comes back around? From the New York Times article. To me, Super Mario Brothers or The Legend of Zelda are artworks that are far more important than, say, the Mona Lisa. Richard, I appreciate your emails, but that is not true at all and sounds a little bit nutty. Then you get an overview of it, about what it is, the price per share, the drop value. I'm going to look that up. Drop value. Can you look that up for me, Ian, what a drop value means?
Yeah.
While I read this.
Trying to figure that out.
Then they say, we believe that the category, is your stomach turning yet? Is well positioned for growth as a result of centralized grading authority WATA to vet authenticity and condition and increasing accessibility as more auction houses and resellers start selling NES games. We've been selling them and buying them for 20 years, over 20 years. It's just that not this graded stuff getting huge the past couple years. Why are we excited? Drop value. Otis acquired the game in an auction for $10,200 and is dropping it at $5,000. I guess that's the value of the shares that are coming in. They repeat the stuff about culture significant and then talks about the game. NES games as a collecting category. Again, this is a slideshow. First game, the factory sealed video game collecting category has gained significant mainstream interest in the past few years. Would you call it significant mainstream interest? Would you really call it that? I would not call it that. It first gained momentum as a niche collecting category in the late 2000s. Okay, among avid gamers seeking to complete their sets of games using online secondary markets like eBay, motivated by nostalgia. So and they want to play it too.
As best as I can determine, drop, like every other instance that it's used in like this, drop refers to the item. Drop value, I'm assuming, is that's how much value in shares they're selling.
How much value in?
Yes. The value. Yes. Okay. The value. I'm assuming that's the value of shares put out. So if that Mario is 10,000 and they're valuing the drop at 5,000, that probably means they're selling $5,001 shares.
Worth of shares. Okay, yes. That makes sense. Sorry, the most popular collectibles in the category are games for the NES, which popularized characters like Mario in the 80s. Okay. We believe this welcome position for growth, blah, 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 blah. Ecosystem of buyers and sellers slide. In January 2019, Heritage Auctions began listing a lot of graded video games in their comics and comic art auctions. It's only been 2 years. The incorporation of collectible video games by an acclaimed and mainstream auction house has spread awareness of the collectibles video game trend among collectors. Heritage Auctions notes, the video game collectible industry is now evolving from nostalgia. It wasn't always just nostalgia. People actually want to play these games.
Yeah.
To a recognized form of art and history. Fuck you. We always thought this stuff was historical. Video games. Why do you think I have a room full of them? Not just because I like it. There's history wrapped up in some of these items. Risks. Here we go. Here's the risks they have. Relatively nascent category. Nascent or nascent?
I think it's nascent.
The factory sealed video games category is relatively nascent and has gained significant interest in only the last year. Okay, that's true. As a result, is riskier than other more established collecting categories. Okay, that's responsible to say that. Limited public data. There's no, we don't know what the population numbers of these are. Supply risk. As the category gains traction with collectors, more supply of the specific gaming grade could enter the market and impact prices. At least they're being reasonable with the risks. This is the first time I've seen any article written about this. This isn't even an article. All those articles written before never brought the fucking risks up at all. Yep. It's all pie in the sky. This stuff can only go up from here. Make $1 million, get in. You know, FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, at least this is being responsible here, because you know why? They're selling shares, so I think legally they have to put the risks on here.
So they do, because all of these, so it says, each asset on the platform has been securitized with the SEC and broken into shares. Members can buy it. So
legally.
New cultural assets are launched on the app weekly.
So once you have register with the SEC, your company or what have you, you have to play it straight. Otherwise, if it's fraudulent, you have a government entity that can come after you. If you're a shareholder, you're like, what did you sell me? This was a fraudulent, so that, but at least they're doing that. Okay. That's all fair and good, Ian.
I think this is taking the hype market to an extreme end, and I mean, I can't stand this. I'm glad that
buying shares of a collectible.
Buying shares of an item. You can say that you own a part of something you may never ever see or touch.
So it's not about collecting it. We brought this up a bit when that $100,000 Super Mario Brothers was bought by a team of 5 people that bought it, including Richard Lecce.
This is like that. That's like a real world happening of happening in the wild of this.
And plus, they did that because they wanted to help kick off this surge. Sure. If you don't do that and put that on Pawn Stars, do you get to this point of Otisburg? Of Otis trying to sell you shares of sneakers and video games? I don't know. But we're way past the point where we're now collecting stuff when you're buying shares. You're just purely speculating. It's purely an investment. But you're trying to equate it to stocks of a company. And it's obviously not the same thing.
Right.
Collectibles is not a company being run with profit and loss. It's just you're buying the shares in the hope that some other sales happen down the road with your item, or you can, or whoever controls it sells it, and you get a higher return. That's it. I don't think you can get dividends off a collectible sitting around like a stock. I don't think that. I don't see how that would happen. They start spawning off mini Mario 3s. How would that happen?
I don't think you can do that.
It spawns off, an RBI Baseball 2. So you get another game. Like, how does that happen here? This is insane to me to see this. I'm not shocked at all.
It's fucking wild.
I mean, I don't follow the sneaker market at all, but I know that's nuts. That's been nuts for years. And now, I guess you want to do it with Pokemon cards. So we talked about this a few weeks ago about we're hitting the zenith of this weird investment thing, hitting collectibles and cultural touchstones together for this stuff, or like the old sneakers that come back, or they redo the Jordans, and for Pokemon. And it's like the perfect storm to lose your money, to me.
Yeah. It seems like a real bad thing to like get into right now, sitting around bored at home. I could see that getting out of control. Can't go to conventions, can't buy stuff. Just let's collect together.
Can't travel.
Yeah.
Let's put that money into buying shares of shit. Put that stimulus check to good use. Buy 25 shares of Super Mario Bros. 3 sealed.
What did you buy? I own 1/5 of a sealed Super Mario Bros.
I own 1/10 of 1% of Super Mario 3. So this is what's happened now. Going back to who the hell is spending money on this stuff. This website or this organization, Otis, are now in the market to increase the prices with other speculators in order to acquire them, so other speculators raise the prices on the products that shareholders can make money. They're now one of the entities. Now, when you see these highfalutin prices, they're one of them, and there could be others that follow. The whole market gets tainted at that point. To me, this isn't like, hey, we had a private sale and we purchased this. They bought it at auction to potentially put it back on auction,
right?
With people buying shares,
more people's money behind,
so they get the money back through the shares, yes. Which is that's what a corporation does. Where you're buying in, we're getting your money, and you're getting potentially the profits, and we have more operating budget to maybe buy more shit and operate. It's a beautiful plan. I just think it's insane to invest in this stuff. It's insane to do that. Because then the risk is so much lower to this company because, well, we spent $10,000 on this game. We're going to get $5,000 worth of shares. Well, half of our investments we're set there. And we'll just pay you out plus our piece of it.
Can I see the assets in person? Otis will host pop-ups and events where you can come to view your assets at our dedicated gallery space.
They won't let you touch it, probably. Hey, look at it behind the glass.
Yeah,
hey,
probably
I own $500 that Super Mario 3. Okay, cool. That's fine. You can't own it for, whatever, 5% of the year, however they price it out for the amount of shares. It won't be 100% the shares. It'll be either 50% or something else, whatever percentage. I got to look at the report in details. Yeah, this is nuts. And then it links to the recent news from the New York Times. And then, there's a Vice article about someone who got 380 copies of Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. That's not difficult. That would take you maybe a bit in 2020, but 10 years ago, you could do that in a weekend on eBay. You can get that many. So, we'll not be doing an Otis sponsorship. I think it would be disingenuous to do that sponsorship. So if you complain about us, selling products, we actually think they're cool, like Manscaped products or like. We turn down stuff sometimes, and it's just a coincidence that this is coming up here. But I think, unfortunately, there will be people that spend their money on this stuff and potentially will take a loss. But we are in the age of, Bitcoin and buying Tesla stock and buying this stuff because you can't lose, Ian. You can't lose. Can't lose putting your money in on this stuff. And I'm seeing more and more people, even younger people, saying, I want to learn about investing. And it's like, okay, before you get investing, though, you have to have a stable income. Make sure you're paying off your loans and whatever debt, and you're able to save money. Once you're sort of stable, now you worry about investing. I think the problem is a lot of people nowadays treat it as, it's not get rich quick, but investing to me is a form of income. It should not be a direct form of income. It should not be. It's not. You have to be established first with your income in order to then tiptoe, because you have to basically be willing to lose that money. Okay, I'm willing to take a loss.
Yes, you have to be able to send it out and just assume that that's it.
Without it crippling your life. That's how you have to treat this stuff. Whether you're buying Bitcoin, whether you're buying WATA-graded games, or any collectible, you have to make sure you are solvent first when it comes to this stuff. So, all right. Anything else to add? Or are we cool on with Otis?
We're good with Otis. We're done with Otis.